I've been making videos for college tax refunds for a couple weeks now. I'm trying to put into these videos financial advice and wisdom that might be helpful to recent college students, as well as just anybody out there who'd like to get ahead, especially in pursuing your own goals, your own vision, your own mission, your own dreams. My name is Steve Hunt, and I am the owner of College Tax Refunds. I'm also a CPA, or a Certified Public Accountant. I like to call myself your consultant for prosperity and adventure, and I hope you'll consider me that way also. I wanted to introduce myself just a little bit more in this video so you can get to know me. I wanted to do that by exploring an article that was published about me at the BYU Alumni website. I am an alumnus of Brigham Young University in Provo as well as in Idaho. But alumni.byu.edu/Cougs You Should Know. That's Cougs-you-should-know. And then /getting-board. The article that they've written is called Getting on Board. And it's talking about a magic whiteboard that we have in our home, or a board that we use to bring about our own personal visions and desires and dreams, specifically for travel, since I really enjoy travel. The article talks about my family's vision of exploring the world and the travel that we do together. I do have 6 children, and my wife and I like to travel all over with them. The article, which you can look up and read, talks about how we have things like going to see the total solar eclipse in Buenos Aires. Well, actually not in Buenos Aires, but in Santiago, and maybe we went to Argentina, but we didn't actually go to Buenos Aires. This was all last year. It talks about our desire to go see the Hill Cumorah pageant in New York, which we'll have to put off till next year because it's not going to happen this year. How Marissa likes to take trips on her own. That's my wife. How we watch for service opportunities with our travel, and we enjoy cruises. We like Disneyland, and we want to go to Paris Disney. Last year we were able to go to Tokyo Disney Resort, and we'd like to visit the Paris Disney Resort. And those are just a few of the intriguing entries that we put on our whiteboard, and I'm not exactly 100% certain how everything works, but I do know that 90% of the things it seems that we put on that whiteboard come to fruition, and it just happens. We put something up there, and we know that if we're going to put it up there, then it's going to happen. And so it's a very exciting way that we create our own lives. The article talks about how this is a successful experiment in intentional living, that we create our own lives with this whiteboard. We've created our lives to be able to do the travel. For example, I have created College Tax Refunds to help students, and it's an online accounting firm so that I can work from basically wherever I am in the world. My wife has a degree in early childhood education, and so she can homeschool the children when necessary as we travel, as well as right now that's come in very handy for this time of COVID isolation and social distancing. Also, I work part-time for SkyWest Airlines, which is an airline that does business with Delta and United and American and Alaska. And so I'm able to enjoy a wide variety of travel benefits that I am able to use for traveling with my family. And we created this kind of a life when we realized that we didn't like the standard life that you were taught to live when you went to high school and college. Most of us believe that we're supposed to go to college, get a degree, get a great, high-paying, secure job with somebody, work for them full-time, 40 hours a week, buy a nice home, the best one that we can afford, and get ourselves a 30-year debt that we're going to pay off while we work for the man, work for our nice-paying job, and then take that a little bit of money that we take home and give at least 30 to 50% of it to the bank every single month. And that just didn't feel right. And I was frustrated with the tax season at the accounting firm I was working at, and so decided to look for other areas that brought me more joy, and ended up teaching tax and also some religion at a couple different universities, and creating a daycare in my home, and going to work for SkyWest, and starting to realize that I enjoyed many different things. Things like being my own boss as an entrepreneur, and helping people to provide for their families to, if they needed to, like with the daycare, they could, of course, bring their children over and go to work. But I also was able to employ some of the moms, and so it made me feel really good and valuable as I was helping people with their own, furthering their own goals, where the moms could actually have a job and come to work with their own children, and so they didn't have to leave their children to go to work. And of course, teaching. I love teaching, expressing what I know and understand about financial wisdom and taxes. And I have another channel that's about more spiritual and religious topics. And so I was able to pursue my vision, teaching, as well as being an entrepreneur, and then eventually when SkyWest Airlines came along, to take my family and travel. And so I've kind of been able to pursue that over the years. And it's been, like the article says, intentional living and creating the lifestyle that I want to create. So things haven't always gone exactly as we've planned, as we've been trying to create our life. And the article tells a story about my family and I when we were on the Provo River once for a family gathering, and we heard across the river a young woman, a college student, yelling for help. She was stuck on that side of the river, and there was really nothing over there. We were on the side with the park and the people, and over there was forest and a very steep incline and basically just nothing. And so we heard the young woman crying for help, and all of the adults pretty much split up and went different directions to try and get across the river and help this young woman. And I found my way across a bridge just upstream, and then I was faced by this very thick scrub and these trees and foliage, and I thought, how am I going to get to her on this hillside? And I remember saying a quick prayer that I would be able to get there very quickly and be able to help this young woman out, and then I immediately hit my shin on like a tree stump, and I thought, oh, well, that didn't seem like the best way to go. But I found that as I stepped forward into the woods that I could only go 1 or 2 steps at a time. And again, I was praying that I would be taken to her in the most direct way that I could offer the help in the best, quickest route possible. And I found that, again, I would run into a thicket of some bushes with thorns, and I would have to turn up the hill, and I'd have to scramble up on my hands and knees because the hill was so steep, and I'd scrape my knees on the ground, and then I'd flip myself around a tree or a bush, and I'd have to duck underneath a log and climb over another log, and I'd have to step out on the water of the river onto a rock to get around a tree, and I went past a little shed, and I was just kind of scraping myself up a little bit, and it was very difficult to get through all of the shrubbery, and I arrived at the young woman, and none of my family had gotten there yet. Eventually, an uncle of mine and my father arrived as well. They all came different routes. Some of them said that they had shimmied over pipes across the river, and others had climbed over fences and torn their jeans. And anyway, once we got to the young woman, we could start to help her out, treat her for shock and whatever other concerns she had, because she had been tubing down the river and had gotten separated from her friends and was a little bit scared. Well, then a search and rescue team showed up, and they ran a line across the river and got themselves across the river, and they were there to help us, but she would not go back in the water. She did not want them to drag her across the river. She was too afraid. She wanted to go out another way, and the search and rescue team said, well, we can go out one of the ways that these other guys came. And my dad and my uncle and I looked at each other, and we thought, she's not going to go out our way. I mean, it was so rough, and we kept getting scraped up and bumping into things. And so the search and rescue guy said, well, here's what we're going to do. Everybody's going to split up and go different directions. We'll just go out 5 or 10 steps, and then you can call back and say, hey, come this way, it looks decent. And so we all split up, and we'd go a few steps, and we'd say, come this way, and then the search and rescue team would carry the young woman that direction, and we would follow the call of each individual person who said, let's go this way. And so we made our way back out. And I discovered that as we went step by step back out of the woods to get this woman to safety, we followed the exact same path that I took to get into the woods to find her. We went back out through the bushes and around by the shed and around the tree on the rock on the river and scrambling over the log and under the log and up the hill and down the hill and back out. And I was amazed that the path that I thought all along was certainly the wrong way and a thorny, rough, injury-prone path ended up being the best way. And I now, looking back on my life that has been a little bit rough and thorny and without real focus, it seems, I see that maybe this was the best way to get to where I am. In fact, where I am today involves creating the life exactly that I want to lead, where I get to create amazing adventures and exciting connections with everybody that I love. And I can lift other people to prosperity. And I can also teach others and invite them to receive infinite love and light, to help them to learn who they are and to accept themselves and to know that they are more than enough. And these are what I've determined is my personal mission in life, and I've arrived here in a way that may not have always been the most straightforward direction, but now I can help other people, lift other people to prosperity, and also invite them to receive that infinite love in life while having these adventures, these amazing adventures. So the article at alumni.byu.edu goes on to talk about how I had wanted for a long time to help people financially, to give away thousands of dollars to needy people that I might meet on the street or at the store or at any other event or on all of my travels. If I saw someone who needed assistance, that I could give money to them. And I was struggling to find the financial ability to give that money away. And that was on my whiteboard, on my vision board for a long time, was give away money. And I realized one day, about 2 years into creating College Tax Refunds, which is a business where students come and they are able to have me look at their old tax returns for the last 3 years and see if they missed some very valuable education credits. And then I'm able to amend their old tax returns and help them get those education credits, which are missed by a vast majority of students who had scholarships or Pell Grants. And they then get about $1,000 or $1,300 with every tax return that I amend. I realized 2 years into this, it seems so obvious now that I had created a business subconsciously that was giving away money to people in need. I thought that when I finally found a way to give money to people in need, I would have a big pile of cash and be able to just hand it out to the people serving me at restaurants or people that I saw on the street. But I wasn't exactly certain how I would decide who was needy and how I could give away money without people just following me around saying, oh, there's that guy that gives away thousands of dollars. I'll just follow him around until he gives me some money. And I realized that College Tax Refunds was the fulfillment of that vision that I had had, or that whiteboard dream, to give money away to people who are needy. Because now people who need money, recent college students, can actually come to me. They self-select. They self-apply, they put their numbers in, or they decide they don't want it. I have lots of students who sometimes come and they realize that they can get more money and they actually just back away. And I'm not exactly certain why. I think they're worried that this might be a scam. I get that, but they'll turn away. And so other people, though, will press forward and they'll get their $1,300 and I get to bless their life that way. And so I am so very grateful for the life that I currently lead, where I have this business that can lift others to prosperity and help those who need it, and where I can travel with my family and create those amazing adventures, and now I get to do these YouTube videos and help other people with their financial goals. I would love to answer any questions that you might have about me, which you can put in the comments below, or talk about any financial advice or questions that you might have, which you can also ask in the comments below. Before I go, I want to mention that the BYU Alumni organization does have an affiliation with College Tax Refunds. And so that means that if you are a BYU alumnus, then you or members of your family who use College Tax Refunds to get extra money back on old taxes are able to get a 10% discount. You can see that by going to the benefits and discounts page at the BYU alumni website, alumni.byu.edu. You'll see that you get a handful of discounts from companies by being a BYU alumnus, a Cougar. And one of those companies is College Tax Refunds. And inside the information about College Tax Refunds, you can see that thousands of BYU alumni have left tax refund money on the table. And that's not just BYU alumni who've left money on the table. Basically, any college student across the whole country who, or a recent college student, someone who went to college in the last 3 or 4 years and received scholarships or Pell Grants, it's very likely they left money on the table. I didn't just want to talk about taxes and College Tax Refunds today. Again, I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. If you looked at the article about me from BYU, you will have seen that I have 6 children. We like to travel. I do work on the ramp for SkyWest Airlines, and I just love having College Tax Refunds, and again being able to create these videos and lift others to prosperity and help others to create the life that they dream of. If you have any questions about me or my life, please, you can put them in the comments below. If you have any ideas for some things I can share on this website, please let me know what those are in the comments. Reach out to me at collegetaxrefunds.com if you want to ask any questions about your own personal taxes, or about how you can start a business, or how you can also create your life more intentionally. I would love to help you out. Thank you very much.